Everybody thinks the sports card hobby is about ripping packs and hitting big cards, but nobody wants to talk about the money you lose learning the game or the mistakes you make along the way. This podcast is not about the hype or the highlight reels. This is the real side of the hobby. Welcome to the Out of the Hobby Box podcast. I am your host, T. Wales. I'm here with the owner of B&B. Introduce yourself.
Steven, a.k.a. Stewie. And I think this is episode 3.
Episode 3 of the podcast. I mean, we made it 3 episodes, guys. We appreciate all of you guys, all the love that you've shown on YouTube, through iTunes, Spotify, Amazon, anywhere that you're listening or watching the podcast. We certainly appreciate it. Episode 3 is here. We got so many more to come. How you feeling, man?
Physically, I feel better. I think I had a couple comments, a couple of texts were like, man, you look a little out of it. I'm feeling better now, so I'm feeling good. We're coming off a couple big weeks in the shop and then the shows, so got a little bit of rest. I think we all needed a little bit of rest after the last couple of weeks. So,
yeah, absolutely.
Feeling good and energized. So,
yeah, the last podcast we talked a lot about the shows that we did, and we had some more shows after that. We had another show at the casino, and then a Pokemon show right after that. Yes. So we've been go the last couple weeks. Glad you're feeling good, man.
Yeah,
it's good to hear. First thing I want to discuss here. Listen, we've asked for sponsorships the last couple weeks, and by the grace of the man upstairs, we have our first sponsor that I want to shout out. CitsezCards Sports Cards. If you guys do not know who that is, check all the information below. If you're watching on YouTube or you're listening, just check the description. All of their info will be in there. We talk a lot about relationships, right?
Yes, sir.
Here's their logo right here. We will put it up there for you so you guys can see. Zach and Chandler are 2 of our best friends in this hobby. I absolutely love those 2 guys. They support us tremendously at 100%. The shop and everything that we do. Guys, they are at every show, right? They're in the shop all the time. They are always buying sports cards, Pokemon cards, wax,
One Piece,
whatever you got. Guys, give them a follow. Moving forward, they will be connected with us everywhere that we go. So if you ever want to link up with them, make some deals, trade, buy, sell, they do all that kind of stuff. So CitsezCards Sports Cards, our first official sponsor for the Out of the Hobby Box podcast.
Much appreciated.
We appreciate you guys.
For sure.
We love y'all, and thank you guys so much. Please, please, please go click their Instagram and all the info below. Check them out. Give them a follow. It's all about community, guys. It's all about relationship.
Yes, sir.
And we appreciate you guys so much.
They've been helping us out since pretty much day one. So Zach and Chandler are awesome. They're always doing good deals. One of the most legit guys in the industry around here, or I'll just say in the country. So Zach is always hitting us up. We're always hitting Zach up, making deals, and I mean, couldn't ask for. You talk about the engagement with people and. The friendships also that we make down the road. So not only do we do business with them, they're just a good friend, somebody that I would hit up to, hey, come over for a barbecue or anything like that as well. So, absolutely. I mean, that goes a long way.
One person in this hobby that I'm very jealous of his beard. So if you look at Zach's got a beard down to here. Maybe I'll find a picture of him, throw it up on the screen too. I don't know if he'll like that.
That would be awesome.
Awesome. Zach, Chandler does a lot of the sports side for their business. So shout out to Chandler for that. If you guys are watching this, for sports cards and stuff like that. Zach does, a little bit of both. And I think Chandler does a little bit of both because we actually made a deal this weekend, Chandler and I, on a couple Pokemon cards at the Pokemon show.
They definitely have their both, everyone has their unique style of buying, selling, and trading for sure, and they're definitely 2 that are a little opposite, but that's what makes it so perfect. Yeah. I think, 100%. Chandler's over there hustling and around. Zach just, he's like, nah, yeah. I'll take. This is what I want for my cards. So, in the most loving way, Zach.
Absolutely.
Obviously.
And Zach has been a tremendous help to me. As far as helping me along the way, learning Pokemon and TCG, One Piece, the wax, what sells, what doesn't, how to really distinguish what Pokemon are what, right? We came into this Pokemon game and neither one of us knew anything, and Zach was a vital part of
he was huge for the Pokemon.
Us and what we're doing. Absolutely.
He was the one that I was like, hey, we're getting into Pokemon. Tell me what I need to buy, or just I'm going to trust you. I said, here's my money. What do I need to buy? He hooked me up with some guys. He sold me some stuff. And that's really how we got into Pokemon. I can't be more thankful for See It's Easy and Zach and Chandler. Really helped us get like the Pokemon stuff going. And even now, like I could be like, hey, is this good? Not good. Like I know obviously we're learning as we go. But Zach is like, hey, he even comes into the shop. That card needs to be priced differently. Like that one's underpriced, overpriced.
He doesn't take advantage of us and things like that. So great.
It's been great.
Yeah. So when we talked on the last podcast about you going out to Richmond and just buying a ton of Pokemon, that's who we got it from. So Zach, See It's Easy.
Shout out.
We appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much for sponsoring the podcast and believing in us. Again, guys, click all their information down below. And if you want to be a part of this and sponsor the pod and help us grow this, we would love for that. Send us a DM. Put a comment down wherever you're watching. We'd love to shout out your business as well.
Absolutely. It's cheap, guys. It's real cheap.
We're just trying to make it, man.
Help us out with the podcast.
All right. So next, what I want to get into is kind of the week that we've had. All right. Kind of our week in review, so to speak. Sure. So this week, I don't know if you guys, if you're listening for the first time or you're watching for the first time, obviously, first of all, thank you so much for that. We certainly appreciate it. But we just started something new on our YouTube that I kind of want to talk about. And it's what we call our hobby hotspots, right? So we've taken it upon ourselves to kind of highlight. We've talked about this on the podcast in a couple episodes before, I think episode 1, maybe a little bit in episode 2, that we really wanted to start to highlight some of these local shops or some shops in the area, even out of the area, and really support what they're doing as a company. And we started to do that this week. So we went out to Culpeper, Virginia.
we did.
Oh, my goodness.
Culpeper, Virginia. If you don't know, you still don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys, it's about 3 hours away. Roughly, depending on traffic. We dealt with traffic on the way back. But literally, guys, on the way up, we're just passing farms and cows and chickens and tractors.
I tried to tell you. It said, we get off the exit, it says Culpeper, Virginia. Like you're like going to just be right there. And there's a little town. But then it says you got a 45-minute drive to a shop.
And that's what it was. So we went out to Showtime Sports Cards. Shout out to those guys as well. We've talked about them before, doing deals with them at the last show. But we went out with them to highlight their shop. It's a family-owned business, right? Mom, dad, brother, sister, wife, aunt, uncles, sisters, uncles, cousins, babies, everything is involved in that shop, which is great. Yep. But I wanted to kind of talk about that a little bit. How did you like their shop? What did you think about their shop?
Chris and them are awesome over at Showtime. Him and his dad, I think, are like, pushing it really hard. They just opened up, not even like 6 months ago. And their shop
6 or 7.
Yeah, 6 or 7. Shout out to them. Their shop is awesome. They've really put a lot of effort into it. And, they spent some money to, get that thing rocking. Again, we've always talked about this stuff isn't cheap, or free. But they're the walk-in experience. If you guys haven't, go check out our YouTube. We got a video out that just dropped with the whole shop and everything with them. But just getting to Chris is awesome. You just talk to him and he's super open about everything with the whole hobby and everything. And just seeing, I love going to other shops and seeing other shops on video. Just be like, oh, that's a good idea, or maybe we should try this. And just to see a new shop that's popped up and how well they're doing is awesome. Especially, we've talked about this a little bit, is allocations. He has literally he might have a very little allocation. I think he said he has some retail, but he has no allocations at all, which we're a little bit familiar with. We have tops, but we don't have everything, especially with Pokemon and stuff. But just showing how he has to, reach out to a lot of people and just scrambling to get wax. But they have a lot of it. I was actually impressed with how much they have, and really obviously their singles game is off the chain. He is always buying, and they're nonstop moving stuff. They have some awesome showcases.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know what allocation is necessarily, we have an allocation from Tops, right? We've been around, our shop's been around since the 90s, so obviously when we inherited the shop, we inherited the allocation, which just means that whenever new Tops products drops, or whenever the new Tops products drop, we're able to get them at an allocated price with an allocated amount that comes to the shop, right? So it allows us to give the customers a little better of a deal, right, on some certain product and things like that. And they don't really have that.
New shops aren't. You can't just open up a shop and get it nowadays. Everyone wants it. Everyone wants the wax.
It's tough to do.
It's just like the shoe game and stuff like that. Everyone wants shoes at retail. And unfortunately, it's not that easy.
Yeah, I know from experience. If you guys could see my feet every week in here, you would understand I have a shoe problem.
And you're paying secondhand market.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, I explained that to a lot of people. Like, for instance, yesterday, a guy came in, and Pokemon, we buy everything secondhand. Right. We're paying strong on Pokemon. Absolutely. Come bring us your Pokemon. But we pay very strong just because it's a hot commodity right now. So, our margins, we make our little bit of money and we move on because it moves. But a guy comes in, he's like, hey, if I spend a few $1,000, can you work with me on pricing? We try our best. If you're going to spend some money, we'll help you out. But there's just certain products that, we're not making a ton. And I told him, I was like, I'm not saying this in any negative way towards you, but like, a couple $1,000 might only be a few boxes now. So it's just like, this stuff is, if it wasn't moving, sure, we'll cut you a deal. But when stuff's moving, man, you just,
Yeah, absolutely. And that's one thing that I think Showtime Sports, I mean, they're really, really, when I walked away, I think the one thing that I took away from when I watched the video back and, when I listened to Chris and, I've talked to Senior and Junior both and, his wife actually put a comment in one of our posts and reposted it for us. And you could just tell the passion for the hobby. And the fact that they're doing it as a family, to me, speaks volumes of the type of people that they are and what they're willing to do to be successful.
Sure.
Right? And that, I think, is an underrated part of this hobby, right? What are you willing to do to be successful in your business, whether you're starting your own business or what are you willing to do to make things work for you, right? And for them, they don't really care, right? They just, they have the best of the best in there. The lighting is great, the ambiance is great, the showcases were full, the wax is full, and we know from experience that they pay pretty strong for that stuff, right? But they want to have it for their customers. So at the end of the day, guys, it was an amazing experience, an awesome start to the Hobby Hotspot series that we're going to start on YouTube. So if you guys want to be involved in that, if you're watching, any local shops, even if we have to take a trip, on an off day or something like that, and drive a couple hours to come see your shop, we would love to do that, right? We'd love to highlight you on the page. So again, just shoot us a DM on Instagram or Facebook or whatever the case is, and let us know you want to be a part. We're not asking you to pay to do that kind of stuff. We're doing it for absolutely free because we want to highlight you and your business, and we want to support and everything that you're doing. So send us a DM. We'd love to have you up there on our next Hobby Hotspots. So let us know. That kind of brings me to our next point, kind of our first topic of the day, so to speak, is social media. Right? When I first got here about a year ago, social media wasn't as prevalent. I guess I've been here a little over a year now.
It's been a little long.
It's been
I
longer
went back,
than a year.
and it's actually been...
It's probably almost 2 years now.
I went back, and I was like, what? I was like, I timestamped some stuff.
Yeah, it's been a while, but social media wasn't as prevalent then, which is fine because really there were two guys in the shop trying to run it, and social media is a job on its own. And we brought in Justice there for a while, and he was really, really instrumental in helping getting our social media started, and now I've kind of taken it where he's left. And I just want to kind of get your opinion and kind of talk to the people a little bit about how instrumental the social media is to the hobby, whether you have a sports card shop or, again, you're doing this by yourself, you're grinding with your own business. I know TJ times 2 Cards has his own social media thing, and he does it by himself. And so how instrumental is that? Well, how has it changed the way that we do our business?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been an advocate of social media. I mean, especially like YouTube and Facebook and Instagram. It's all free. I mean, in somewhat, it's free to use for basics. I mean, why not use it? It's a billboard for your business. So I've always been an advocate for it. Again, like you said, me and Steve, when it was just us two in the shop, I was doing as much as I can, a little bit of posting here, obviously just the basics, nothing crazy. So I really do think social media, though, especially what we're doing now and taking it to the next level. And then that's why I sat down and talked to you about was like, hey, if we want to do this. And I said, even when we were talking to Justice, like, let's do it, not,
Right.
you know, half-ass it kind of thing. Let's, you know, go in on it, spend a little bit of money. Let's, you know, get the good camera. Let's, you know, make it more official and, you know, go rock with it. And obviously we've seen, you know, in the last couple of months, just what we've done has been awesome. We like, again, Justice, shout out to Justice, Just Add Water. You guys know him from the shop, but he helped us before he moved out to Vegas, like starting that up. Right. So, you know, giving us, you know, the little hints and tricks, you know, Instagram this, you know, there's a lot that goes into it besides just make a post, you know, certain times of the day, how many times you're posting, hashtags. I mean, but how, like you said, how is it important to the business? It's super huge to a hobby nowadays. I mean, I could sit at home if I don't feel like coming in the shop or even at the shop and post 20 cards on there with offers or pricing, make a sale and then ship it off the same day, and then boom, it's in my PayPal.
Yeah.
I mean, it's nowadays you don't have to go. I mean, the shows are great, making the deals and meeting the people, but nowadays in this hobby, if you can't sell cards or buy cards from your phone, then you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just easy. We send videos and pictures to repackers or anybody that's buying, and we'll just lay them all out, take a picture. They'll send offers, we'll say deal. Literally, it's in the mail 10 minutes later, and the money's in the bank.
Yeah,
so
100%. I mean, social media it's just that, right? It's free advertisement for your business. It's free advertisement for anything that you're doing in the hobby, whether you are trading, selling, buying, whatever the case is. I mean, you should be able to do that and present it in a way.
Yeah.
I think that's one of the most important things, right? Like, it's easy to, you know, like on my personal social media, I can take a picture of the family out at a park or something like that, right?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, okay, that's cute, and they keep scrolling, right? But, you know, if I put a little bit of effort of editing that and making a cool background or whatever the case is, you know, some people are going to sit there a little bit longer and scroll, or maybe, hey, this is a guy I want to follow because this is the aesthetic that I want to see, right? And we try to do that a lot. I know I'm still personally working on what works best for us and how we can kind of improve that side of things. Yeah. But that's the perfect thing what you said. It's free advertisement, right? You don't have to pay to have Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or whatever.
And that's what I tell people following too. It's just, hey, that subscribe or follow that's free to, like, helps us 1,000,000%. Like, I know some people are like, you know, but like literally you just hit a button, follow us. It helps out everything.
Yeah, so. I mean, and I'll give a good example of what's happened this week, and I'll try to throw some pictures up here because I think I have some pictures saved of exactly what happened in the shop. But the last, I don't know, week and a half, we've been really low on cards in the shop because we've had so many shows recently, and we've done well at those shows, which is great. But now, but now we're in the process of having to restock. Right, it's always a thing, like Stewie says. It's a continuous circle of buying and selling and buying and selling and repricing and buying and selling. Right, and it just continues. But that's how you continue to build the business.
Snowball.
Right, and he made a post, I think, on maybe Sunday night or Monday or something like that on our social media that said, hey, we're buying heavy, right? And it was, we're buying heavy, come check out the shop, come bring me your stuff, blah, blah, blah. Yep. And then the next morning I get into the shop
made a video
on Monday morning and made a video right after that says, hey, look at these shelves. They're empty. We want to fill them up.
And I tell you what.
And we had a line. It was Stewie's off day on Monday, and I probably had a line 9 or 10 people deep. If you've been to the shop, it was from my desk all the way to the
back door.
claw machine, really. Yeah, is where it was. And it was just people waiting, right? They weren't looking at cars. They were just there to strictly sell. So without that avenue of making your post and then following up with a video directly after saying, hey, we need to fill these shelves up, that would have never happened.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's the power of social media, that you have just a simple video to let people know what you need or what you're trying to do and how you want to get it done. And people will follow that, you know, like there's no tomorrow, right? So everybody is on their phone. Yeah. If you don't doom scroll, you still have a Nokia and you play Snake on it. You know what I mean? If you have a phone, at some point during the day, you doom scroll, whether it's on Instagram, Facebook, or whatever the case is. you doom scroll.
No matter what age you are.
No matter what age you are. If you have a phone, you doom scroll. Yeah. I'm a big shoe guy. I have a bunch of shoe people that I follow, and once I see one good pair of shoes, you can count me out for the next 10 minutes because I'm on their page just looking or messaging, I need these shoes. Yeah. And card people do the same thing. We've had messages all week. Hey, can you sell me this case? Can you sell me this card? How much is this? If I bring you all these cards, how much
or how many times we post, I'll just post a little picture, for instance, I think, and again, I'm not the big social editing and all that. That's more yours, but I'll throw up pictures and just the simple stuff. We're buying heavy stuff like that, but I posted a little picture of downtowns and kabooms, just case hits, and I'm getting text messages. How much is this? How much is it? And it's that simple. You just post it up there. And how many we've had. Since we started doing more of the YouTube and the podcast and doing it right and being more professional with it, we've had so many phone calls and friends hit us up. Like for instance, shout out to Kenny. He called me up the other day, haven't talked to him in a few months, and he was just like, "Hey man, you guys are doing a really good job with the podcast. I watched every bit of both episodes. So shout out to Kenny, that was awesome. Just to hear the feedback from people seeing our social media. Yeah. I mean, it's obviously we're not nowhere near big time at all yet. Yeah, right. But it's just it helps the business. At the end of the day, somebody from Florida was in the shop yesterday, and I was like, "How'd you hear about us?" And he was like, "Honestly, I was on Instagram just scrolling, saw B&B pop up with one of our shorts, and boom, he was in Virginia Beach." And then he came to our shop. Perfect. I mean, how that grabs someone for a free 30-second short. Yeah. I mean, that's amazing. And just I was going to tell you about it today, just how the power of social media. It's just, if you don't have it nowadays, you're kind of getting behind.
Yeah, and in today's day and age, and this will probably be the last thing we talk about when it comes to social media, but today's day and age, like you said, we go to these shows, and the first thing that happens to me at the last two events, the Pokemon event and the casino event, where people coming up to me and shaking my hand or patting us on the back, saying that we are doing a good job at the podcast, and they do watch, and maybe we're only getting 4, 5, 6, 7, maybe 1,500 views max, right? But it's those couple of people that are watching that we don't necessarily need to buy, sell, or trade every single post that we make, but we're staying relevant. Yep. And we're staying at the top of people's minds when it comes to this hobby in this area by doing this kind of stuff. Yep. And I think that's very, very important. It's something that we can't measure. Right. It's something that we can't sit down and say, okay, hey, we've made this much money by posting on Instagram, but it's a way to keep us at the top of mind for the locals, right? Absolutely. It's a way for us to get the community involved and keep them coming into our shop on a regular basis. So 100%. Social media is huge. If you do not have a social media presence, you need to get one as soon as possible.
Check out our link tree.
Absolutely. We have a link tree, guys. If you don't have a link tree, you should get a link tree.
I think it's awesome.
We even got these cool cards now where you can just bust out the little credit card looking thing and scan your phone, and all of our information is up there. So it's really, really simple, guys. It's free advertising. It's something that you need to do for your business.
Highly suggested.
Already. Absolutely. Anything else on the social media?
I think we hit it around the head.
All right. So the next topic, I'm going to introduce this one with, I'm going to introduce it lightly. Okay. This is more of a serious topic.
This is a little scary, guys.
Stewie doesn't know about this quite yet, I don't think.
Gosh.
We kind of talked a little bit about it, but I want to first of all, before we get started, this is something that has to be talked about because we do this in the shop. And we're going to talk PSA. All right? Relax. Okay? Relax. However, let us first start by saying we love PSA. We are a PSA certified shop, which means you guys can bring your cards into us. We have a in-house guy that looks at the cards for you. His name is Edge. And he will tell you whether or not your cards are good or bad to send out. It's a kind of advantage that we have as opposed to dropping your cards off at GameStop and getting them sent and then getting back whatever grades they are. We are an authorized retailer to be able to basically do the entire process for you when it comes to PSA. Yep. We don't ask for money up front. We front everything for you, and then you just pay when you pick up the cards, right? So we love PSA and we love what we do with PSA. However, what needs to be said is that there is a strong sense in the community right now. PSA has recently bought Beckett, and last week they came out and stated that they are raising prices for the second time in about a 2 or 3 month period. So I want to kind of touch touch base on that, I mean, I want to ask how you're feeling, but I think we feel kind of like everybody else feels, right? Because we have also taken kind of a big lump when it comes to that, right? So how do you feel about what PSA has done? How do you feel about kind of the monopoly that they have going on? Just give us some thoughts about PSA in general.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, we're still going to use PSA and still going to be, an authorized dealer and such. So with everything being said and the comments that have been said and just talking to customers, it's tough right now. I'm not going to lie because, I mean, and just to put it this way, when prices go up on them, like on customers, they go up for us as well. Absolutely. On the backside. So it's not like we're making more money with you guys sending out cards. They go up $3 on your side. They go up $3 on the backside as well. So we're, but it's tough right now. I mean, what they're kind of doing. I mean, I get the logistics to it. Like they're trying to almost, raise the prices where people slow down and they can get caught up. Is it the right way to do it? In my opinion, probably not. They can say, hey, we need a month shutdown to get caught up on cards because there's such an influx of cards coming in, whatever. I mean, and again, if people are paying for it, they're not going to stop.
Right.
That's another thing. So it's a supply and demand kind of thing. Yeah. If you guys want them to slow down or change their pricing, then stop using it. But at the end of the day, grading is a huge part of our business and a part of this hobby. And again, the only thing that I get a little frustrated with is just how long it's taking per se. It's a little frustrating. Like we have 9 orders for the shop, just our cards out there that I was talking to Edge. I was like, I don't even remember what we sent out. I mean, we go back and look, but it's like, oh yeah, I sent that out 5 months ago, you know? I think that's the most frustrating thing for people. They're sending out cards that are worth, just say $100 now. They get the card back, say it gets a 9, unfortunately, and now it's like that's maybe a $20, $30 card because the card's gone down. It got a 9. I will say one thing that has hurt B&B as a business as when we were doing orders and they were coming back within a month and a half, people were returning them, doing another order, getting their cards, doing another order, seller cards, doing another order. Yeah. So now that it's taking 4 to 5 months, we're seeing less orders come in, but people are sending more cards. Sure. So now they're, so I mean, maybe it's not as bad, but, they're bulking 60 cards instead of just doing 20, 20, 20. Yeah. So it's put a little bit of a damper on our business as well. I mean, we're still flowing a lot of cards out in and out of the door, but it's just it's tough. I mean, what do you think? What do you think on it?
I think this kind of happened with COVID, right? Where they did a little PSA shutdown during the pandemic when everybody was going absolutely ham on cards, and you could walk to one table at a show and buy a card for $50, and 10 minutes later it's worth 3 times as much, and you sell it for that at another table. But that's kind of happened during COVID where they did have to do a little bit of a shutdown. And I think you're right? I don't think people are going to stop grading because at the end of the day, that's how you maximize the value for your cards, right? And they just bought Beckett, right? So that's a thing. I mean, they got, there's only a few grading companies out there, but there's really only one that's going to bring you max value on what you're trying to do, right? There's only one company, and that's PSA, that's really going to bring you the money that you need. The max value, for sure. On the cards that you're looking at, right? So I don't think, if I'm being honest, and I think I agree with you, right? I will say that. I think part of the reason why they're raising the prices or maybe raising the time frame, well, obviously the turnaround times has to do with the amount of cards that they get, right? It's impossible for them to get the cards out in a month anymore, right? We'd be lucky if they even look at the cards.
I mean, even like express orders are taking.
That's what I'm saying.
You send it in for a 5-day, and it's taking 3 weeks. Yeah. So but they've expressed that. They've told us that. Sure. Like, hey, if you're paying for the higher levels, it's still taking time. It's
still taking a lot of time. Yeah, so, absolutely. But it's
not like they're just leaving you in the dark, which I will say they have done a great job with communicating with the customers and the business. I wish they would maybe tell us a little bit more in advance than, hey, we wake up to an email and everyone's going crazy and the price has gone up because now Edge is freaking out at the desk like, what are we going to do? And I understand, but, we figured it out. So
of course. And but I don't. Here's the I guess the point I was getting at is I don't really think the $2 or $3 difference is really going to make it's not going to affect things as much, right? Like if I'm already spending 28 to grade a card, what's 31, right? Or what's 32?
It's more of just like the frustration of
Sure.
it. Like, am I going to still grade my Shohei Ohtani card? Yes.
Right.
Am I going to think about maybe some cards that I shouldn't send out? Maybe, but it's just like when gas goes up, are you going to stop getting gas? No, I mean, PSA may be a little different than that. But,
well, I mean,
but at the end of the day,
theoretically,
people, like if you're a collector, I say if you're just collecting and don't care about who's grading, see, like SGC is a good way. They look nice, they look sleek, they're cheap, and they're quick. Yeah. But if you care about value of your cards, long-term investments, whatever, or flipping, you got to go PSA.
Absolutely.
So
So again, this isn't something that, I think as far as the effect it's going to have down the road, I don't think it's going to really make much of a difference, right? And I mean, if you look about it, there's so many people when you look on social media and you look on this topic, especially the day that it happens, right? The day that PSA made price changes the first time and the day that they made them in the last week or so, it's the same thing. There's a bunch of companies coming out saying, okay, well, we're not messing with PSA anymore. PSA prices have changed or this and that. Yeah. But at the end of the day, that doesn't really do much for you as a business, right? No. Because at the end of the day, PSA is the top guy when it comes to grading cards. And if you don't have a relationship with them, what are we doing, right? And so is it going to make a huge effect on the hobby? I don't know. I guess it's to be seen, right? Because
we've seen like, it's funny because, like, real quick, you get the price goes up, but I've seen more orders come through in the last week or two than we've been seeing because I think more people were, like, waiting to see kind of what happened.
Sure.
But now I think people are realizing, hey, they're not lowering their prices right now.
Yeah.
It's taking X amount of time to get your cards back. It just kind of is what it is. Like, if they started out at this price and started out at taking 3 to 4 months to get your cards back, no one would even say anything. But now they were so used to cards coming back so fast and the deals coming through. I think that's the thing. It's like people don't like change.
Sure.
They don't.
Sure.
I mean that's
what
in
a statement that is. Yeah.
That's in the real world. People do not like change.
Yeah.
And I'm an advocate of that too. I'm not, when something changes, it's like, oh, but you just have to pivot. This is a big thing that we talk about with the breakers.
Yeah.
You need to pivot.
Right.
So.
Yeah. And I mean, it's very helpful to us. I will say this, right? It's not, to me, it's not really going to affect things that much, right? To me, the grading is still going to be happening. Everybody might be a little bit more upset because they're spending a couple extra dollars and it's taking a little bit longer to get back. That does suck. That's the worst part of this, right? But at the end of the day, there's nothing that we can do about it. There's nothing as a shop that we can do. One thing that we've done that maybe some of you guys can take into consideration if you do have a brick and mortar shop or something like that is invest in an expert, right? Mm-hmm. We have an expert in Edge that works in the shop that only handles PSA,
correct,
that only deals with these changes, that knows the rules and the intricacies of PSA inside and out, and that is so valuable to us. It is so valuable to us. So one piece of advice that I think I would give if you guys are struggling with this, or if it's putting a lot on your plate as a brick and mortar shop, as far as the grading is concerned, is invest in an expert, right? Pay the expert to just handle this kind of stuff. Edge does a great job of putting all the PSA rules and guidelines posted in the shop.
Sure does.
Right? So if anybody has any questions, hey, they're right here. Just read these guidelines. I can help you walk through them. And that's what we do on a daily basis. When Edge is not in the shop 24/7 like we are, right? However, he does a great job of posting that stuff so that you and I and Steve can guide them through the process and say, hey, this is what this is saying, this is what
100%.
This is what is happening, and this is what we're doing moving forward. So invest in an expert like Edge. He's an invaluable part of our business, and we're so appreciative for him because when things like this happen, we can still focus on a little bit of the bigger picture, so to speak, and allow Edge, the expert, to be the expert and handle that. So that's
grade your cards with us.
Yeah, absolutely. Bring your cards into B&B and talk to Edge and get your stuff graded and maximize the value of what you're doing. Right? That's at the end of the day, that's what we're all trying to do.
Still think PSA is gonna be it. So.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. We love PSA. We're very thankful for our relationship with them, and it's going to continue. We're not going anywhere. So that's that. We got that out of the way. It wasn't that bad, right? Stewie's a little hesitant to talk about PSA,
like a needle in the arm.
Yeah, because we got a little, we have a good relationship with them. So, but I wanted to talk about that because I think it's very, very important.
Absolutely,
very important topic to cover for sure. All right, so I want to introduce a new segment, man. You want to do that?
Another new segment.
Yeah, another new segment. All right, we got a new one on YouTube. We got a whole new series on YouTube. But I want to introduce a new segment to the podcast. All right, we're going to do this every single week moving forward.
Okay, I'll hold you to that.
And it's going to be called Red Light, Green Light.
Oh my God.
Okay, and what that means, or stop and go, whatever we want to call it, we'll figure something out. Red, green, stop, go.
Make sure you put copyright.
Yeah, we got to copyright this stuff for sure. But really, it's simple. It's who are you buying right now? That's going to be your green light. Who do you in the future, right? Because baseball is just starting. We'll talk about that in a second. Okay. So get your baseball brain working.
Let's go.
But who is somebody that you think people should hop on immediately and buy, right? Go, go, go. Get it green, red, right? And then the other half to this is who's somebody you should not be buying right now in the hobby and that you should stop buying. In other words, the red part of the green, red. You get it?
Yeah.
Right. So let's start with what do you want to start? Green or red?
Let's go green.
Let's go green. Who do you think we should be buying in the hobby right now?
So this is kind of a weird spot because you got the all-star, like sports is kind of in limbo right now.
Yeah.
So I will say all football I'd be buying right now because you're getting it at discount.
Okay.
Any football, and I'd be in this next class is kind of weird coming up, but like I'd be looking for QBs at 20% off. Like you look at Mahomes stuff, if it's 20% off, buy it now.
Right.
Any QBs, I mean, you can get some of these cards. I mean, I'm looking at some of these prices. I'm like, I don't even want to put football out. I mean, it's nuts.
Sure. Yeah.
So there's no like me specifically like who I'm buying. It's not really who I'm buying. It's just really the sports I'm buying. Because, like, I'm going after all football right now.
Okay.
I will say for baseball, we're buying pretty strong as well because moving into the baseball season, Ohtani is never a bad play. I mean, we've seen it year in and year out. The guy is unreal. Who knows what he's going to do this year when he's pitching? I mean, we're talking about this guy. What if this guy wins the Cy Young next?
I mean, this guy is incrementally going up every single year, it seems. And I haven't I haven't been in the hobby as long as you have, right? I was in the hobby when I was super young, got into it, COVID area time frame. But this is really one of the only players that I've seen that incrementally goes up. And he doesn't do, like, let's be real, right? He did the 50-50 last year, or whatever the case was. And that was something spectacular. But the year before, Ronald Acuna did the 60-40, right?
Yeah.
But even his stuff, you don't see incrementally going up the way that you see Shohei's going up. So it's one of the only people that we see that incrementally goes up that you can almost always put on the green.
Yeah, I mean, like until he stops breaking records, doing unthinkable stuff, hitting home runs and pitching. I mean, and winning World Series. It's like Patrick Mahomes stuff. I mean, I normally don't like to buy on the hype when stuff's like this, but I mean, his stuff doesn't stop. I mean, it's. I mean, you look at, like, for instance, I bought a card yesterday and I looked up the price. It was a Ohtani logo fractor from this year, out of the blue one, out of 150, I believe. Guess how much? Just guess. I'm putting you on the spot.
So just to give you guys some, if you're not baseball guys, regular logo fractors to 250 of somebody like, maybe Jackson Chourio or Ronald Acuna, somebody that's not a rookie, right? Probably range anywhere from maybe 25 to 50, 60 bucks, somewhere in there. So I can imagine Shohei's probably...
And it's the blue, so it is a color match. He's in a Dodgers uniform, not rookie though.
$350.
You hit it wrong. $350 to $400.
It's insane. That's insane.
I mean, and I look at it and I'm like, and there's constant sales. Right, not even graded. It's raw.
And it's not a rookie.
No, it's blue. It's color match.
Sure.
But like, it just, just shows you like his market is strong. Now, the only thing that scares me a little bit, I will say, I'm not buying and holding his stuff. I am just buying. It goes up, move it. Like we made a big deal on that Bowman Chrome batting refractor. That was a great sale that we made on that. Is it a card that we could hold and potentially possibly go up on like some of his rookie stuff? possibly. I'm not a big advocate of holding cards nowadays. Like I used to be, but I've kind of learned, but baseball, I'm buying anybody baseball wise that, should be up and coming for the most part. I'm not a big prospector like you are. Yeah. I mean, that's kind of more your field. I don't like the guys that are 16, 17 because, I get them and we'll flip them. That's fine. But at the end of the day, anybody on the Dodgers, anybody, Yankees are always selling. Yeah. For us, Orioles stuff is always selling. Jackson Holiday, I think, is a great buy right now.
Yeah.
His hype, locally, people love him. Has he done what he kind of lived up to? I don't think so. Roman Anthony, I'm a Red Sox guy, but I do think his stuff is, they're talking about him possibly getting traded too. So, if he goes to a big team,
Yeah. that's for my go list. There's a couple of Orioles. Yes, Jackson Holiday is actually hurt right now.
Yeah. Great time to buy.
Which is a great time to buy. Not only was his stuff down a little bit from his performance last year and the expectation that he was supposed to be really good, but he's also hurt right now. She's not going to be playing in the beginning of the year, which is another reation that you should get in there and buy. And there's a couple more Orioles that I would hop in as well, which I'll talk about them a little bit later in kind of our baseball predictions as well. But I think Gunnar Henderson right now is a guy that is going to have a monster year. Mm-hmm. And his stuff really is not that expensive right now. There's some things, special cards out there, obviously, that are going to cost you a pretty penny. But like you said, like the logo fractors and things like that, I think are going to go up incrementally here towards the beginning of the season. I think he had a kind of a mediocre year last year, but towards the end of the year started to heat up. I think that's somebody that's going to be huge. Yeah. And another Oriole that I think is going to be big is Samuel Basallo. He used to play for the Tides. Mm-hmm. He's a catcher. Probably first baseman, depending on where him and Adley play. But I think he is going to be kind of the not quite as big as the Jack Caglione, right? Not quite as big as that movement was, or the Nick Kurtz. I don't think it's going to quite get that big. Yeah. But I think he's the next big rookie. Him and Connor Griffin that are going to come.
Connor Griffin's making some noise already. Yeah.
But the thing with Connor Griffin. That's kind of on my stop list, if I'm being honest with you. We'll transition to that. Connor Griffin right now is very, very, very expensive. Yeah. The hype on Connor Griffin now is not the time to buy Connor Griffin, because here's the thing. I love Connor Griffin, and like you said, I'm a big prospecting guy. He's got every tool imaginable. Yeah. The only thing going against him is that he's on the Pirates. Okay, and I know they're doing some things to retool. They got Marcell Ozuna and a couple other guys. But they're going to rely on him, and he is very, very young. Yeah. So you could see a Jackson Holiday type season out of Connor Griffin where he maybe doesn't produce or perform to where he should. So my green right now going into this baseball season is Gunnar Henderson. And Jackson Holiday, you brought up a good one. I didn't even think about him before I got in here. But then my red would be somebody like Connor Griffin, who is very, very, very high and expensive to buy right now. Do you have anybody on your stop list? Somebody that you're like, do not buy this guy right now.
I hate to say it, and I don't see as much of it now as like we did a couple years ago. I'm avoiding Mike Trout. Unless we get a good deal on stuff, I'll still buy it, but I'm just not buying some of those guys. He's been hurt for 3 years. Okay, maybe he's kind of just done. Guys like that. I'm avoiding a lot of the newer class guys for football. I just don't think the class is anything that great. Sure. But again, anything could happen. Again, it's so hard to have what we're not buying, because if somebody comes to me and it's it's hard when you look at it as a business aspect, because if someone brings me a $200 card and they're like, hey, give me $70 for this $200 card, I'm gonna buy it. For instance, I bought that card. What was the card of it was that old from the Negro Leagues card.
Yes. I cannot remember his name.
He played 1 year, a couple years in the Negro Leagues, and then he had 3 games, but the card was selling for $100. And the guy was like, dude, just give me $50. I said, out of principle, I'm going to buy this card and I'm going to sell it.
And now when he says out of principle, it's because he showed me the card like he does with a lot of baseball stuff, right? If he gets some stuff on his desk he's not sure of, he'll show me some baseball stuff and say, hey, do we want this? Do we want to buy this? Yes or no? And this guy in particular, I said, no. I've never heard of that guy. I don't know what he is. I don't know who he is. I'm very well versed in the Negro League stuff, the older stuff, all baseball. But when he showed me this guy, and again, I can't even remember his name, I said, absolutely not. So out of principle, he said, I'm going to buy it, and I'm going to make money on it, and I'm going to show you this can. And I said, okay.
So
sure,
there's
whatever.
different, like that question is so vague for a card shop owner, right?
Right.
For asking you, it's a little different. And even with you buying. So it's tough to say who I'm avoiding more of, because if the deal is right, I'll buy anything. I mean, if water is on discount, I'll buy water. So
at the end of the day, I think one of the first things you told me when I came into the shop and I started buying for the shop is like, is there anything you avoid? Is there anything that you look for? And you literally said, if I can buy a fan and make money on it, I'll do it. So at the end of the day, guys, we're buying everything at the shop. So whether
the flip game is real.
Yeah, our red light, green light scenario here that we're introducing does not mean we're not buying anything at the shop. That's a little bit different. We're just speaking more for you guys out there on your own, looking to invest in certain players. These are the guys we would avoid.
For sure. And I'll just put this in there, but I would try and avoid, like I always say, just buying at the peaks. If a player is hot, at a certain time, again, Ohtani is just a different level. But normally, if a guy is super hot in here and everyone's talking about him, everyone's looking for him, avoid them. Yeah. Or you should be selling, right?
Sure.
Not buying. You should be looking for the guys that no one's really talking. Okay, right now, everyone should be buying Patrick Mahomes stuff. He's easily a top 5 quarterback of all time already. Mm-hmm. It still has who knows how many years left with a great team and a great franchise. I mean, we're talking about this guy Brady numbers, if not past Brady. I mean, I'm not a big Mahomes guy, but when I see value, I see value. If you're buying this guy at 25% off, I mean, every $100 you're making $25. I mean, think about it.
That's good.
So,
yeah. All right. So there you have it, man. Red light, green light. That's what we're going to call it.
It's a tough one. I like that.
And we're going to do it every single week, man. We're going to have somebody or something, whether it's a group of cards or whatever the case is, for you guys to either invest in or stay away from, as far as what we're concerned.
Maybe we'll bring in some to highlight and show. That'd be kind of cool.
Absolutely. All right. So final topic of the day, our Out of the Hobby Box segment, brought to you by See It's Easy Sports Cards. Guys, again, thank you so much for sponsoring the podcast. Find all of their information below. Thank you so much. And they are sponsoring the Out of the Hobby Box segment, which this week's topic is going to be baseball. Okay, baseball season is coming up. It's a national holiday. I don't know if you guys knew that, but it is a national holiday.
Is it pitchers and catchers report?
No, just opening day is a national holiday. I feel. Yeah. Pitchers and catchers have reported. Players have reported.
Have it?
We're just under 40 days till the start of the season.
Holy crap!
I know. I'm crazy with these numbers. It's insane. But
that hat's fire, by the way.
Thank you so much, man. I'm not a Mets fan. I'm a Braves fan, but it just happens to go with the shoes. It's okay. Baseball season. Let's talk a little baseball, right? This is outside of the hobby box, which means we're getting a little bit outside of the hobby now. Let's talk baseball predictions. Just predictions. We're going to do a couple predictions for y'all, and then we're going to be wrapping up episode 3 here. Let's start with MVP predictions. American League and National League. Now, I'm gonna make a caveat. American League MVP, National League MVP, that's not Judge or Ohtani. Let me start. I'll start. I'll give you some time to think, because I just threw this on him. And again, he's not a huge baseball guy, but he knows enough.
What teams are in what category.
Yeah. Just name some players. We'll do that.
Gotcha.
So for me, I'm going back to my guy in the National League. I hope he's healthy. He looks healthy. And if he is healthy, 50-50 is definitely on the radar of my guy, Ronald Acuna Jr. That is my guy, okay?
Gosh.
I love him. I love Austin Riley. I love the Atlanta Braves. However, I think Ronald Acuna Jr. has the ability, if anybody else does in the National League, to take the MVP away from Shohei Ohtani. It's Ronald Acuna Jr., okay? Because he steals bases. He hits home runs. He plays excellent defense when he's not being lazy. Ronald, if you're watching, which I know you're not, you're lazy. He plays good defense. He's got a great arm, okay? And he is the guy, I think, that has the ability to take an MVP away from Shohei Ohtani, if there's anybody in the National League that can even do it. All right. And as far as the American League is concerned, same thing, kind of the same concept of anybody that can take away an MVP away from Aaron Judge. Listen, if Cal Raleigh couldn't do it last year and hit 60 home runs, there's probably only one other guy that can if Judge has a season that he has, and that's Bobby Witt Jr.
Yeah.
Right? Again, just because of the same thing, he has the ability to hit 40 or 50 home runs. 50 home runs is not out of the question, right? I know he hasn't hit that many before, but it's not out of the question for Bobby Witt. He steals bases. He plays good defense. He plays on a team that, like, could you imagine Bobby Witt bringing the Royals to a World Series, right? That does a lot for MVP case. Yeah. He plays on a team where if he did something like that, you can see those votes being swayed for Bobby Witt as opposed to Aaron Judge. So I think Bobby Witt Jr. in the American League, because of all of his abilities, he's a five-tool player just like Ronald Acuna. And I think if there's any two players that can steal the spotlight from them, it would be Bobby Witt Jr. and Ronald Acuna as well. What do you think, my friend?
I'm a big advocate of Bobby Witt. I agree with that 100%. If he can lead that, if he can get that team going and maybe get Jax Cagalon going a little bit. If he stays healthy, because I really like Cagalon. And we saw that he was playing great until he got hurt.
Vinny Pasquantino on that team.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby Witt's a very up there. I'm going to just list a couple players because I can't remember the leagues that they're in. But, I mean, Cal Riley's up there. I know he's coming off a big season. But I think the momentum he has going – sometimes you see these guys, they're 1 year and then they fall off kind of guys. I really do think he has something going for him, though. He's another guy that can hit 50, 60 homers.
Yeah, I think I think if his average was up last year, he probably would have won.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I think he's going to really be working on maybe a little less of trying to hit a home run and trying to make more contact. Because obviously that's a big thing. He realizes, hey, if I batted 30 points higher, 40 points higher, I'm MVP probably. So I think maybe you see 40 homers out of him, but his average is going to go up.
Sure.
Another guy that a sleeper that I like is Ellie De La Cruz.
Okay. That's a National League MVP candidate right there.
So
absolutely.
I think with his speed, he can do a lot. I mean, he's stealing bases. He's got power. So I mean, if he could sneak in maybe a 40 homer year. I mean, it's tough for him, but he's...
Well, let me tell you, I just saw some pictures recently.
That
man is jacked.
Yeah,
he has gotten jacked in the offseason. So I don't know what he was eating or what he was taking, or maybe he has a PED use scandal coming up soon. Hopefully not, but Ellie is jacked right now.
I think I've liked Ellie since he's come up. He steals bases. He's fast. He's quick.
Absolutely.
He's energetic. He keeps the team moving.
Fan favorite.
I mean, especially 100%. For the Reds. I mean, it's hard to be
that's another scenario. If he makes the Reds good, if he's the main cog and the reason why the Reds make a playoff push deep in the playoffs, that could be another reason to sway the votes.
And one other guy that I do like this is another super sleeper. I like Adley Rutschman.
Yeah.
I mean, I like him as well. He's another guy that can hit 40, 50 homers. And we've seen the Orioles. They have a lot of talent.
Yes.
So
a lot of protection.
So it goes hand in hand. When your team's playing good, you're playing good, everyone's playing. I mean, it's hard to put up numbers when your team's only winning 40, 50 games or 60 games. Yeah. If you're up there in playoff contention, it changes everything. Yeah. So I think the Orioles are going to be one team to be a threat with for sure. 100%. If they can get their pitching right.
Good. Yeah, absolutely.
That's kind of on my radar. Obviously, you got Judge and Ohtani, but it gets kind of boring. The same guys winning over and over. But those guys. I mean, it goes hand in hand with the legend and the history, right?
Yeah.
Ohtani wins 3-4 in a row. I mean, Judge wins 3-4. I mean,
absolutely. Yep, 100%. All right, so final thing we'll predict. I was going to do Rookie of the Year, but I think we'll skip out on that one.
That's tough.
That's a tough one. We're going to go right to our World Series predictions and who you think is going to win the World Series this year. And again, it can't be the Dodgers, okay? It cannot be the Dodgers.
Because why would you say anybody else?
Because why would you say anybody else? If you're a baseball fan, you can't. They just got... Kyle Tucker, along with their pitching staff, it's insane what they're doing out there. So, do you want to start or you want me to start?
You go first.
All right, I'll start. In the National League, Okay, I would say my Atlanta Braves are a contender, but if you look at our pitching rotation, we absolutely are not a contender. We have a terrible pitching rotation, and we don't have a shortstop right now. So that's a problem when you're trying to run for a World Series. I will say that. However, one team to watch out for, their bullpen is filthy. Their starting pitching is good. It's not great, but it's good. But their lineup and their veterans, they have been so close the last couple of years. I think the San Diego Padres are going to make a run in the National League. Manny Machado is getting older. Fernando Tatis is getting older. But they're still crafty veterans that are going to give you 30-plus home runs, 100-plus RBIs, bat 275 to 300 every year, be the middle kind of rock to that lineup. And then they are a team, I think the biggest thing about the Padres is they are a team that's willing to make deals at the trade deadline.
Sure.
They went out and got Mason Miller last year to beef up the bullpen. He's there. He's taken care of. And they're never afraid to add more people. They just got Nick Castellanos when the Reds cut him. Or not the Reds. Was it the Reds that cut him? No.
Yeah.
Was it the Reds?
He used to be on the Reds, I think.
No, I cannot remember who cut him right now. But somebody just cut Nick Castellanos because some BS that happened. But the Padres picked him up. Right? Okay. The Phillies cut him. Okay. Excuse me. So they're not afraid to make those type of moves. So when they're in a race, they're going to make moves. So I think the Padres, whether it be a move to their pitching staff or their lineup, whatever the case is, they're going to do whatever it takes to put themselves in a position to win. And hopefully this year, those moves get them over the hump of the nasty Los Angeles Dodgers. I don't know if it will. I don't know if any team can do enough moves to do that. But, hey, in a 7-game series, you never really know. I mean, look at the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays almost took down Goliath. They had them for half the game, and then, you saw what happened.
Sure.
But so I think the San Diego Padres in the National League will be representing them in the World Series. And in the American League, I like the Baltimore Orioles, man. I know they had a rough year last year. The year before last, though, they were great. They were great. They were young. They were vibrant. They were full of life, and they played really, really good baseball. They were hurt a little bit last year. I think their pitching staff got better. Watch out for Bradish. Bradish is going to be a Cy Young contender, I think, in the American League, and I think his odds right now are like plus 1,100, which is crazy. Should go put a cool 500 on that real quick. So I think the Orioles in the American League with their lineup, the youth that they have, once Jackson Holiday gets healthy, hitting at the top of the lineup the way he should be. Yep. They got rid of some old expiring contracts last year during their little dip or whatever you call it. But I think Gunner's going to be great. I think Basallo is going to be great. I think Kobe Mayo is going to be a big, big reason why they do well this year. I think Basallo is going to be good. So there's a whole list of guys. They got a new manager as well. That's a big deal. Don't put that under the radar. That's a huge deal for the Baltimore Orioles. So I think the Orioles and the Padres, and then I'm going to be watching the World Series with my son, so I got to root for the Padres. He's a huge Machado and Tatis fan. So I'm going to say the Padres win the World Series this year, finally overcoming the Dodgers. What you got?
I'm going to keep it simple.
All right.
I like the Orioles.
Like the Orioles.
I like the Orioles. For everything you just said.
Yeah.
Their talent's there. I thought the talent was there last year, but they had to move. They had too much talent, I think, and didn't know where to put people.
Yeah.
So I think that they, with the new manager, the squad knows where to put people now, and I absolutely am betting on the Orioles this year, and not just because they're like a local for us, like with the Tides and everything. I love the Orioles since last year.
And their farm system with the Tides is always top notch, right? We always get to see the best of the best come here and play. We got to see Adley play here in Norfolk. We got to see Gunner. We got to see Jackson Holiday, right? Colton Cowser, Kobe Mayo, all those guys we got to see play here. And that's another reason why I think they are not going to be afraid to make deals at the deadline and use some of these guys that they have in AAA. And in AA, they got Dylan Beaver still now, all kinds of guys that they can still mix and match and move to get pieces to make them contenders in the American League. And really, I don't see anybody running away with the American League. You can say the Yankees, but they fall apart every single postseason, so it doesn't really matter. So you've heard it here first with B&B. Padres versus the Orioles.
I like that.
Whenever it comes up, like episode 110 or whatever it is when the World Series happens, we'll be back here. I'll be in my Padres gear. He'll be in his Orioles gear, and we'll fight it out from there, and we'll see who wins. But yeah, so that's our predictions. for the year, some MVP predictions and some World Series predictions. Baseball starting in less than 40 days, man. I'm so excited. Other than that, that wraps up episode 3.
Yes, sir.
Whew, what an episode, man. We talked
yeah.
about a ton today. We talked about PSA, talked about the power of social media. We talked about our baseball. We introduced a new segment, the Stop and Go segment. It's been a fully packed episode, and we appreciate all of you guys watching. If you're watching up until this point, thank you so much. Or if you're listening in your radios, in your car, wherever you are on the way to work or whatever the case is, thank you so much. Again, shout out to See It's Easy Sports Cars, our first ever sponsor of the Out of the Hobby Box podcast. All of their information is below. If you are looking to buy, sell, or trade Pokemon or sports cards, hit them up, DM them, let them know you are looking to do that, and they will certainly take care of you. They are at every single show. It's the guy with the biggest beard in the room. Come see him. They got so much cool Pokemon wax, singles, sports cards, whatever you need.
And guess what, Zach? If you can hear me and you listen this long, wait until you see what we got prepared for the tables at the shows now.
Oh, baby. We might have a bigger buying sign than you do. But seriously, guys, thank you so much to See It's Easy Sports Cars for sponsoring today's podcast and the podcast moving forward. If you guys want to check us out on any of our social medias, the link tree is in the description below here in the YouTube video that you're watching. Just click the link tree. It'll take you to our website, take you to our Instagram, our YouTube, our Facebook, whatever you need to get information. Feel free to click that link and find it. Make sure you guys are commenting. Make sure you are subscribed. Make sure you are hitting all the bells and whistles, all the algorithm stuff. It makes a difference. We appreciate you guys so much.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for hanging out with us today on episode 3 of the Out of the Hobby Box podcast. Again, my name is T. Wales. This is my co-host, Baby Stu. We are out. Cannot wait for episode 4. Let's go. See y'all later.